Our next speaker is Kim Booker, who many of you may well already recognise through the fantastic media and advocacy work she's done over the past couple of years to support the cause of raising awareness for BDD. Kim has bravely shared her story in Parliament, in the media, and for the campaign that we launched with Monki earlier this year. Please be aware that Kim's talk includes images of post-operative facial surgery, which some individuals may find distressing.
Just my hair in the way.
Please welcome Kim.
Yes, go for it. You're going to click for me? Okay. Hi, everyone. I am shaking right now. Whew, I'm just going to take a few breaths, but hello, everyone. Okay, I'm going to try and do this. Sorry, guys, this is really, really difficult for me, so I'm just going to take a few moments. Okay. Okay. Should I begin? Yeah? I feel so totally overwhelmed and honoured to be invited here today to share with you all my journey with BDD. Understanding the root cause of my BDD was fundamental in putting me on a path towards healing. I also want to start by saying that although many of us with BDD share similar traits, our journeys will no doubt be different. I am recalling from memories and past experiences personal to what I believe brought me here. In order to begin, I feel I must take you back to where I believe it all started in the 1980s. Let's put a click. You got it? I began life in a little semi-detached house on the outskirts of London. I remember the house vividly. There was a little diamond-shaped window in my pink Barbie bedroom, the mock Tudor facade, an 80s interior. I also remember a lot of chaos, loneliness, and violent behaviour. I thought I'd start crying way, way further down, but here we are. I believe the traumas I experienced within this environment are part of what caused me to develop BDD. If you were to ask people who knew me from that time what I was like, they are quick to say I was a nightmare child. I cried and I cried, like no one could hear me. Because the truth of the matter is, no one was hearing me. I was invisible. Jesus. The invisibility developed into a need to be seen, but being seen had to be under my control, within the uncontrollable environment I was surrounded by. I didn't have a parent or a loved one I could safely attach myself to, not in an emotional sense. So I attached myself to what was always physically there, my body and the mirror. My relationship with the mirror started in my parents' bedroom. They had a mirrored wardrobe that, when folded around me, created a 360 view of my face and body. At the age of 5, I would sit there, transfixed in my mirror cocoon, for what felt like hours. I believe this is where my mirror gazing became a focus and an escape from the chaotic home life I was trying to survive in. During this time, my parents bought a gym. This meant more mirrors and more attention to appearance. Not just by me, but by the adults around me. Mirror gazing seemed normalised in this environment. People pinching at their body fat and measuring biceps was a daily occurrence. I learnt that a high standard of symmetry and beauty equated to value and status. It was also a place where I believed my dad's own battles with BDD and muscle dysmorphia were able to thrive. Looking back, infant school is where I noticed BDD behaviour surfacing. I remember asking for multiple toilet breaks during class, not to relieve myself, but to look in the mirror. I thought if I held my lip a certain way, it made me look prettier. I would repeat the action over and over, trying to perfect it before returning to class, hopeful that my classmates would notice me. I also remember thinking my freckles were oddly placed and comparing my skin to other children's, thinking mine was too mottled, too veiny, too pale. The value of being pretty was everywhere. In my Barbie spaces, the Disney princesses and dolls I played with. The language around little girls in general was enough to reaffirm that my worth could only be found in the way I looked. I learned early on that nothing else mattered, and that I didn't matter unless I was beautiful. As this belief took hold, I realized my reflection in the mirror did not match the aesthetic I was bombarded with. I saw the opposite and was overcome with a deep-rooted belief that I was ugly. My nose was wrong, my chin too pointy, my eyes too hollow, my teeth too crooked. There was no symmetry, and I needed symmetry. If only I knew then what I was mistaking this need for. A need for love, a need to be truly seen by my parents, and a need for safety. Sorry. Might not get this in the 15 minutes. My teen years were tumultuous. After moving home time and again and being moved from school to school, I felt lonely and displaced. I had become extremely angry at my parents, the world, the people in it, and at the face and body looking back at me in the mirror. No whistles, no worth. It was also a deeply confusing time. As I began wearing makeup, I would start to get more attention. Boys would whistle and men would stare. Rather than it be offensive, I found it addictive. I went from the invisible child to finally being seen. This draw to being seen, no matter how low the source, made me become more fixated on my makeup, my hair, and my perceived flaws. I would angle myself in soft lighting and spend hours staring in the mirror. Everything had to be perfect, but perfect never came. The more I tried to see it in myself, the more it highlighted the wrongness I felt in my body. Looking back, I remember the first time I edited my appearance. It was long before phones had the technology to do so. One day at school, we were tasked to trace our profile from a silhouette projection on the wall. I took relish in redrawing a smaller nose, a tighter jawline, and a rounder forehead. My teacher looked at my drawing with a raised eyebrow, whilst I continued to stare at it with a strong squeeze in my chest, thinking, if I look like this, I could be happy. Little did I know back then, I would make this a reality with a sharp slice of a scalpel. Oh, what's the next one on? I had this belief that my right side was deformed in comparison to the left, which seemed less offensive. I remember thinking I had a sort of Quasimodo-like appearance. This belief has followed me for years and became an obsession I spent too much money trying to correct. As I grew up, alcohol and drugs became an unhealthy coping mechanism. In my late teens, it became a way to block out the nastiness and provide a moment of peace from what felt like a demon that possessed me. I would drink to oblivion to quieten the voice and escape the loneliness I felt. Depression, self-harm, suicidal ideations that sometimes led to real attempts became my way of existing. As a young adult, I was drawn to cosmetic procedures. An uncomfortable portion of my income went towards cosmetics and surgery. My first of my many treatments was when I was 18, and this developed into obsessive thinking around cosmetic procedures. I'd spend every minute I had researching the process and editing my face on Facetune, from pictures taken in every light and angle. With any procedure, whether it be cosmetic or surgical, it takes time to see the final result due to the bruising and swelling. The swelling distorts the result. I panic. What is this? What if this is how it stays? What then? More selfies, more obsessing, more hiding from people and wearing thick layers of makeup. When I was in my mid-20s, I was convinced that I had extreme hollowing and bags around my eyes. When I look back at those photos now as a 35-year-old, there was nothing there. I rushed to have it fixed with filler and found myself in the wrong hands. Now when I look at my eyes, I see scars from the botched procedure. What was an imagined fixation is now a very real one. This is the risk we take. And while with the unique brains that BDD sufferers have, this risk is tenfold. I have to live with these scars now. They're always there as a reminder of what could go wrong. The sad thing about this is it hasn't been enough to stop me from getting more things done. I realised that I couldn't see myself then, and I still can't see myself now. BDD is not a true lens. It is a distortion and a distraction from a part of us that needs to be seen and healed. So if you are thinking of getting work done, please don't do what I have. Please wait and get the healing you need before making a decision that may not be based on reality. Don't give BDD the knife to cut you, because then it's no longer a bully with just words. You've given it a very sharp weapon to attack you with. In 2019, I found yoga. As my practice developed, so did my breath. I actually breathed big, gulping, lung-filled breaths for the first time. Breathing, sitting, holding postures, and finding moments of stillness started to transform my mind and settle my nervous system. It gave space for clarity and an inner strength to finally come out of survival mode and onto a path of healing via a holistic approach. I came to a realization that year that I needed to step away from alcohol. This part in itself was incredibly raw and heart-wrenchingly painful, but so worth it, because it enabled me to zoom out, recognize patterns, and truly witness my harmful relationship with BDD. When COVID hit, I created an Instagram account dedicated to my passion for yoga and mental health journey. It was here where I found the BDD Foundation and became a volunteer, sharing my lived experience with BDD. Appearing on national news outlets became a huge exposure therapy for me, and in turn helped me find power through my voice towards recovery. In 2022, I gave evidence to the Health and Social Care Committee at the House of Commons about vulnerability around aesthetic procedures and the impact of body image on physical and mental health. It blows my mind that my suggestions directly affected proposed legislation to ensure the aesthetics industry emits higher standards of safety. I went on to work with MP Dr. Luke Evans to campaign for transparency around filtered images, and in 2023 took part in the More Than My Reflection campaign with my fellow volunteers Sandeep and Mia for the fashion brand Monki, raising discussion and awareness around BDD. By sharing my story and being open, by connecting with people who have BDD and being honest about this very secretive, very strange, and difficult to understand illness, it takes some of that shame away. It gives you your power back. Not completely. BDD is still there, at least for me personally, but it's smaller, and I feel better than I ever have. Even if better still feels painful, even if better feels like you've gotten nowhere at all, recovery isn't linear. We must remember that mental health conditions take time to manage and heal. But please know this, there will be stages of resistance and battles that will meet a new, stronger version of you every single time. So as things stand now, I wouldn't say I'm fully healed, and I wouldn't say I'm 100% there on my recovery journey. But knowing that I can get to this place, stand in front of you all here now, is something to be really proud of. There is still so much to do, but I'm here for it. I'm here for the therapy. I'm here to show up for myself, my fiancé, and most importantly, my daughter. because she deserves the whole of me, not the broken pieces BDD has cut me into. Can't see. Oh, God. To everyone suffering with BDD right now, by watching what's been presented here today at the conference, you are investing in your healing. You have chosen to find a way to get better. There is no going back now. No matter how hard it may feel in the days, weeks, years to come, hold on. Hold on for the light ahead. Hold on for you and every person suffering with this illness. Your recovery will spark in others, and theirs in others. We will do this together. We are not alone, and we will beat BDD. I just want to end this by saying thank you to the BDD Foundation and to Kitty, who has supported and guided me through this journey. You are amazing. Thank you for giving me hope, a place to connect, and for giving me purpose. I don't know where I'd be if I hadn't found you guys, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate everything you do for something that silently hurts so many of us. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I look forward to continuing to work with you to raise the much needed awareness around BDD.
Thank you so much, Kim.
Okay.
That was moving and inspiring. Thank you very much.